Spring has sprung on the homestead. The trees are blooming, the flowers are starting to bloom, and this is an exciting time of year. Now today we're going to look for violets so we can make something sweet. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain and welcome back to the homestead. I love spring. You know, Philip loves fall. He loves the colors and all of that, but I love spring when everything wakes back up. It's been cold, it's been barren, but slowly everything comes to life and it's lush and it's gorgeous. It's just my favorite. Now here on the homestead, we are very blessed with a variety of wildflowers that bloom here. And today we're going to look for violets. Now, some of the wildflowers that grow here on the homestead wave proudly in the wind and you can see them from afar, but not violets. Violets you have to look for. And I just saw one, so let's check it out. Now, violets are tiny. You can see next to my thumb how big that tiny little flower is. Now today, I'm going to be picking them to make some syrup, and then I'm going to make lemonade. Now I need a lot. I need a cup. Now this is going to take a while, but I've been scouting, I've been walking, so I have some ideas of where to look. Now to go get them. Okay, well before I get too far, they were going to fly out of my container. So we're going to go get a container with a lid here before I get too far from the house, because after I pick all these, I don't want to lose any. Alright, I have a glass jar, but it has a lid. I didn't really want a glass jar. I wanted something with a handle, but it has a lid. The bad part is it's windy today, so I'm also having to carry around a weight for my camera so that it doesn't blow down in the wind. I need to be watching for violets as I'm walking. Now I didn't see a lot up here. Now I certainly wish for something like this I had children at home. I have children, they're just grown. I wish I had children that could do all this bending. But it's gonna be up to me. All right, let's get busy. Now when I pick the violets, if I pick it with the stem, I do want to pick off all of that greenery, and I really only want the petals. Now I like to do things once, and I don't want to have to pick through these flowers a second time. So I am picking off the green as I go. It's going to take me a little longer, but I won't have to touch the flowers twice. And I like to touch things only once. Now, anytime you're foraging or picking wild berries, you want to make sure you only pick in areas where things are not sprayed. Now, here on our farm, we don't spray, so it's very safe for me to, oops, here's one. It's very safe for me to forage here. I'm really not liking my jar. I have an idea. I'll be right back. Now I think this will make it easier. I went back home and I got a flip top to my mason jar. Now we use these for all kinds of things. If I make my own barbecue sauce, or we use them for our maple syrup, so we can just pour it out. But this gives me a flip top for my flower, and those violets are gonna fit right through there. So they won't swirl in the wind, and I don't have to keep opening the jar. I'm glad I thought of that before I got too far away. Now let's get back to work. Now I saw some up along the driveway and up along the path to the parking lot. So I'm definitely going to get my steps in for my April Fit Challenge. I don't know if you noticed, but I have my security with me today. See her over there. Not that she's a guard dog. She would hide behind me before she'd secure me, but she's always one step behind. Now I know I'm picking some flowers, and this time of year there's not a lot of food sources for the bees, but there is more than you think. We do have the violets, the dandelions are blooming, and there's all kinds of other flowers that are starting to wake up. So there's other food sources for the bees, so I'm not going to worry about my little cup of violets. Now when we get closer to the bees, I'll show them to you. This is hysterical. I've been at this for maybe an hour or so, and now she's like making low moany sounds, like she'll go like that. Yeah, she wants to go home. Go home, Roxy. You don't have to stay with me. I don't need a babysitter. Go home. Pretty long snake too. But she walked right over the top of that snake. It did not even flinch. Now I am not good with my snakes. Seems like if they have a pointy nose, they're poisonous or something. No, it doesn't. Oh, it's got kind of a pointy nose. Anyone know what it is? I don't know. Well, I'm getting there. It's going to be tough to find a packed cup full of flowers. I looked at one recipe online. It wanted 3 cups of flowers. I'm like, are you crazy? I'll never find 3 cups of violets. Now, a little fun fact, this is not the first time I've made things with wildflowers. Back in 1995, my family moved to Alaska. My kids were little at that time. My son was a baby. My daughter was almost 3. When we moved to Alaska, there is a flower that grows there. It's called fireweed. And it grows in other parts of the country as well, but it grows everywhere up there. And the cool thing about it is it starts blooming at the bottom, and the blooms go up the stem, and when it gets to the top, summer's over. And it's true. When you see the fireweed at the top, winter's coming. And you can make jelly out of the flowers. And so I did. I gave that as a Christmas gift many years ago, probably, I'd guess 1996, 97, which was the first time I'd ever made anything with flowers. Well, I've been picking for a couple of hours, and I have a half a cup. Now, unfortunately, I have a meeting, and I'm gonna have to stop looking for flowers right now. I'm gonna stick these in the fridge, keep them fresh, and we'll move on to the next. Oh no. I checked this 2 weeks ago, and there were tons of bees here. They are gone. They must have swarmed. Or that was just robbing out this hive. But they are completely gone. Oh, that stinks. That stinks a lot. Good morning, friends. So yesterday I spent about 4 hours picking violets. And if I've said lilac anywhere through this video, I keep doing that. These are violets, not lilacs. You can actually do this with lilacs as well, but we are using violets. This morning I went back out and I spent about another hour. So I spent about 5 hours collecting these violet blossoms. Let me tell you, this is definitely something to do with a friend. It's a lot of work to do it by yourself. Now, technically, we should have a packed cup of flower petals. I'm just going to be thankful if it's a cup at all, not packed. This was a lot of work. Now, I'm going to go ahead and combine these into one jar. Now, the flowers that I picked yesterday, I did keep them in the refrigerator overnight. Look at that! So much more than I expected. Alright, now I've already boiled a cup of water. Isn't that pretty already? It's already turning blue down here. Now this is just going to steep. We've made a tea, and we are going to extract all of that violet color into our tea, and you can see it's kind of blue. Now this is going to be a little bit magical. I'm going to tell you right now. Wait till you see. It's going to be magical. Now this can steep for as little as 1 hour to overnight. I am short on time because I want to do this today so that we can enjoy what we're making for Easter. And I need to do this today. So I will be back when this is done steeping. All right, it has been a few hours. This is cool to the touch now. And I did cover it with a milk filter just to keep it clean. So now we are going to strain out this juice. Now I'm going to use this wire strainer. And while that's dripping out slowly, I'm going to press on it because I want every drop of that beautiful violet tea that I can possibly have. Now these flower petals I'm just going to add to my compost bin. If it's safe for me to eat, it's safe for my compost bin. Now what we're left with is this beautiful blue violet tea. Now we're going to make a syrup using the violet tea, and all we need to do that is to add sugar to it and make sure all that sugar dissolves. Now if you've been following me for a while, you know that I use raw sugar, and my raw sugar that I get from the Amish has a really big grain to it. We've gotten used to the larger grain of that sugar, and I don't have any problems baking with it. But for something like this, I want to use sugar that has a finer grain. Now this is also raw sugar. It's just from a different source, and it has finer granules. Now I keep this sugar tucked up on the shelf so that it doesn't get used accidentally. I only use it for special projects because I have to drive to the big city to get that, which is a much longer drive. Now over here on the stove, we're just going to heat this up until the sugar dissolves. We're not going to heat it long at all, just long enough for it to dissolve, and we're certainly not going to boil it. Now that is such a small amount of liquid. It's only about a cup. I've turned the heat down low so that this will just dissolve but not boil. Now the raw sugar does have a little bit of a tint to it, so it may affect that color of my syrup. I guess we're going to find out in a minute. It looks gray now, not pretty blue. Now I'm not seeing any sugar particles in here, so I think we're dissolved. I am a little disappointed that that color has changed so much with that sugar. That was not the color I was going for. I was going for blue. Now I told you this would be magical, and honestly I'm not sure if it's going to work still because of that weird color change. But we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it, and it should change color to something prettier. Let's hope so. Now I have just a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. Let's see what happens. Well, it did work. Look, it's purple. We definitely lost some of the vibrancy by not using a white sugar, but you know what? I'm okay with that. It's going to be okay. Now that I have my violet syrup, I am going to make lemonade. Now, I spent a lot of time picking all those flowers. This is a sipping lemonade, not a gulping lemonade. Now I'm going to let this cool, and then I'm going to mix up just a little bit of it to give it a try. Now the nice thing about this violet lemonade recipe is it only makes a little bit at a time. Like I told you, this is valuable. Spent many hours doing that, and while doing it by myself made it super labor intensive, I still think this would make a fun project to do with the kids for Easter, to gather the violets. And I would recommend the white sugar to see that blue violet tea turn purple would just be really fascinating for children and a great way to teach the transformation of Christ through something as simple as violets. Now, I've only chilled this for a little while because I want to get this video out for you before Easter. So in my jar I have 1 cup of water and I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now my intention was to get out my pretty punch cups and serve this up in a pretty punch cup, but those are in storage, so we're going to have canning jar. Now I'm going to move you in close because we should have another transformation and I don't want you to miss it. Now to this I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of our purple violet syrup, and I'm using a 1/2 tablespoon measure, so I'm going to do several scoops. And this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted it to turn into a beautiful pink violet lemonade. Now, if I was serving this for Easter, especially for children, I would mix up each serving individually and allow the children to pour the lemon juice in and stir it themselves. I just think that they would love that transformation, so I encourage you to try that. I personally love science, and it's things like this that make science fun. I picked a few more violets, and I'm just gonna put that right into my glass of lemonade and let it float around. Now you'll notice that the pink is already fading. This has been very quick, so you definitely, if you're going to use this as a teaching moment, let the kids pour in the lemon juice. Now I'm going to put the link below that I used to make this. I think I would make it a little bit sweeter. Like maybe add 1 more tablespoon. And it's pink again. Yes. Sorry, one of my lights went out. I definitely like it better with 3 tablespoons of the syrup to 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is perfect. Well friends, as always, I really appreciate you watching, especially to the very end. I want to wish you a very blessed and happy Easter, and I hope that you enjoy the day with your family celebrating our risen Savior. Now, as always, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. I'd love you to be a part of the Kowalski Mountain family. Now, I'm going to go finish sipping my violet lemonade.